Hello, everyone, and welcome to the special Ethical Point Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because we're tackling something literally game-changing for those of you gearing up for the UPSC Civil Services main exam. We're talking General Studies Paper 4. Today, we're blending deep, timeless philosophy with actual, on-the-ground public administration. Think of this as your ultimate interactive guide to mastering the ethics paper. We're going to take a brilliant piece of historical wisdom and translate it straight into high-scoring exam strategies. So grab a notepad and let's get ready to decode what it truly means to be an ethical, effective civil servant. Here's our roadmap for today. First, welcome to Ethical Points, then decoding Gandhi's philosophy, followed by the Karma Yoga principle, empathetic public administration, tangible impact versus performative, and finally, mastering the 10-marker answer. All right, Section 1. Welcome to Ethical Point, the 2023 GS Paper 4 Challenge. Okay, let's dive into this. We're looking at a legendary quote from Mahatma Gandhi, the visionary Indian lawyer and leader who, as we all know, championed nonviolent resistance. He said, "The simplest acts of kindness are by far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer." Now, at first glance, you might argue, wait, aren't formal prayer and ceremonial piety the ultimate expressions of discipline and faith? It's a fair point, but Gandhi throws down a massive counter-argument here. He's saying that simple, direct kindness is exponentially more powerful. It forces us to ask ourselves, is true divinity found inside a place of worship, or is it out on the streets, actually helping someone in need? Moving on to Section 2, decoding Gandhi's philosophy beyond ceremonial piety. To really wrap our heads around this, let's take a quick layman's pause to define Manav Seva. Put simply, Manav Seva literally translates to service to humanity. It's this powerful idea that when you act with genuine empathy and actually respond to people's needs, those everyday acts embody divinity way more than just checking the boxes of ceremonial piety. Gandhi fundamentally believed that serving your fellow human beings is the highest possible form of prayer. It's not about how strictly you memorize or follow a ritual, it's about how genuinely you show up for the people around you. Which brings us to Section 3, the Karma Yoga principle. Ethics in action. Time for another quick layman's pause. So the crucial point is understanding karma yoga. What does this actually mean for you as an aspiring civil servant? Well, karma yoga is the actual selfless execution of your duty. It is, quite simply, ethics in action. It means rolling up your sleeves, getting into the trenches to help people, and recognizing that that hard work holds massive transformative and spiritual value. Good intentions are great, sure, but karma yoga is all about the selfless execution of what you're actually responsible for doing. Now, one might argue for religious rituals and symbolic gestures as essential personal expressions of faith, but if we look at the reality on the ground, the contrast is pretty stark. On one side, you've got those internal, ceremonial actions, but on the flip side, you have this selfless execution of duty. Gandhi is basically telling us that this ethics in action holds infinitely more weight for society. If we're talking about how to best serve the nation, actionable duty is what creates the real, measurable change that citizens desperately need. So that naturally brings us to a huge, pivotal question. We've got the philosophy down, but how does this idea of kindness actually translate to the modern IS officer sitting in a district headquarters right now? Let's explore that in Section 4. Empathetic public administration. Humanity over procedure. Let's do one more layman's pause here. For a civil servant, Gandhi's concept of kindness translates directly into empathetic administration. Basically, this means resolving public grievances with genuine sensitivity. You're replacing rigid bureaucratic procedure with a human touch. It's about seeing the actual living, breathing person behind the stack of paperwork on your desk. When you prioritize empathy, you actively strengthen the public's trust in the government, instead of just hiding behind red tape and formal rules. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why Gandhi's philosophy is a total game changer for governance. Look, we all know how maddening, rigid, formal a bureaucratic procedure can be, right? It totally alienates the exact people it's built to protect. But when an administrator actively chooses empathetic administration and everyday kindness to solve problems, they aren't just clocking in and doing a job. They are literally embodying that highest form of prayer Gandhi was talking about. Humanity has got to take precedence over mere procedure. This takes us to Section 5, tangible impact versus performative. Realities of modern citizenship. We live in this wild digital era that is just overflowing with performative religiosity and social media activism. You know the drill. It's super easy to post a trendy hashtag or get into a heated debate online and feel like you've done something. But contrast that with tangible, boots-on-the-ground acts. Think back to recent global crises like the pandemic. The people who actually held society together weren't the ones arguing on social media. They were the frontline medical workers and the folks running community kitchens. They are the modern-day practitioners of karma yoga, proving that tangible kindness heals infinitely more than just performative gestures.
All right, let's bring it all home. Section 6, Mastering the 10-Marker Answer, your UPSC value add.
Let's move to and see how this builds into the ultimate exam strategy. Here's how you structure a killer 150-word, 10-mark answer. Step 1, your standard intro. You absolutely must define Karma Yoga and Manav Seva right out of the gate, and explicitly link them to Gandhi's quote. Step 2, real-life application. This is where you drop in those tangible examples, like pandemic frontline workers, to prove you understand the modern context. And finally, Step 3, the way forward. You wrap it all up by passionately advocating for humane governance. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that these aren't just lofty, abstract concepts. These are your actual concrete exam bullet points. To score high, you need tangible proof. Talk about helping a neighbor, volunteering locally, or operating community kitchens during natural disasters. And definitely highlight resolving administrative grievances with genuine sensitivity. This proves to the examiner that you don't just know the theory, you know exactly how everyday kindness functions as the ultimate tool within the bureaucratic machinery. So, what does this all mean for you? Ultimately, Gandhi's message is a timeless wake-up call for society and governance to prioritize humane, ethical action. It's everyday kindness that truly builds social cohesion and genuine spirituality. So as you prepare to step into the massive role of an Indian civil servant, ask yourself this: will you prioritize rigid, formal procedure, or will you champion genuine, empathetic administration to foster a better, more cohesive society? The choice and the power of your future impact is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep that empathy front and center in your studies.